While the war rages on in Ukraine, the culture wars rage on here in America, and we are going to talk about those culture wars today and a little bit about Ukraine as well. I'm Randall Terry. This is Voice of Resistance.
Those who forsake the law praise the wicked. Those who uphold the law resist them. Welcome to the Voice of Resistance.
Welcome to the broadcast, friend. I very much appreciate the honor of being with you in your home. Appreciate the honor of being carried on the Walk TV network and the affiliates that carry my program, Randall Terry, Voice of Resistance. First, let's talk about Ukraine just for a moment. You may have heard, you may not have heard, that President Zelensky banned 11 political parties that were in opposition to him and seized control of all television networks. Now, I'm only pointing this out because I've been cheering for him. The memes about him are hysterical. What Ukraine is enduring right now is horrifying. But we have to understand that the democracy of Ukraine and the democracy of Russia and the freedom of Ukraine and the freedom of Russia are not what we understand here in America. We just have to know that. So President Zelensky has gone down a path that you would not expect from somebody who cherishes freedom, literally outlawing political parties and seizing control of television. Now, let's focus on just a little bit more on Ukraine. You can go to other news sources. As you know, the exact number of losses on both sides is unknowable. The numbers that we're hearing are so disconnected. Literally, we don't know. We do know that the Russians have stalled. We do know that they are indiscriminately bombing civilian areas in the hopes of just browbeating the Ukrainian people into surrender, and thus far it has not worked. What we do know is that the United States was funding laboratories, multiple labs in Ukraine, where biotechnology, germs, things that are used in bioweapons were being worked on by the Ukrainians. All right, we subbed it out. So if I could just focus for a minute upon Ukrainian politics and domestic politics, maybe you caught the hubbub about a week ago where different people like Whoopi Goldberg, whose IQ is pretty low, very articulate, not very smart, she and other people were calling for Tulsi Gabbard, the former congresswoman from Hawaii, and Tucker Carlson to perhaps be arrested, perhaps be tried. Mitt Romney from Utah saying that Tulsi Gabbard and Tucker Carlson were treasonous. So what was their great crime? Their great crime was that they discussed what was already a matter of public record, namely that the U.S. was working with the Ukrainians and funding Ukrainian labs for germ warfare. Now, here's the thing. Neither Tucker nor Tulsi ever said that they were developing bioweapons. But what they were saying, and what was true, and what the U.S. government has admitted, is that the bio part of it, not the weapon part, the bio part, not the delivery system, not the missile, but the germ itself, the things that could cause harm in human beings, that was in fact being developed at various labs in Ukraine with not only U.S. knowledge, but with U.S. funding. So because they talked about this on the air, they were being accused of being Russian agents. People were calling them treasonous. A U.S. Senator, Mitt Romney, who is a despicable human being. I don't know how you people in Utah elected him. He is a despicable human being. Well, it's because he's a Mormon. That's why. He moved out there because he knew he could, as a Mormon, he could get elected in Utah. That's why he's their senator, okay? So he's called their actions treasonous. Whoopi Goldberg, other people on The View saying that, hey, in different days, if you gave information to or received information from the Russians, you were scooped up. You were arrested. These people are insane. I beg your pardon. But it shows the level to which they are willing to sink to suppress free speech. This is all of a piece, friends. It's all of a piece. The suppression of free speech. Think about the Hunter Biden laptop. I'm going to take a break. We'll talk about that when we come back. We've got a lot to discuss. The Florida bill, what it actually says, the idiocy of certain Republicans who don't know an opportunity when it's slapping them in the face repeatedly. This is going to be fun. Don't go away. I'll be right back. Have you ever seen when a movie comes out that they've got quotes, a must-see? It was awesome. I'm inviting you to be a part of the film industry in that way. I'm asking you to go to timeboysthemovie.com and look at our beta site. We have a beta site for the movie Time Boys. It's a time travel movie made for families, and you can watch it, sneak preview, for just $5. And then there's a place where you can leave your comment. And if it's short, if it's concise, if it's to the point, we will use it. We need positive feedback. Now, I'm proud to say and thankful to say that Time Boys has won over 60 awards at various film festivals. Over 60. And the number keeps going up. We're going to release the movie soon, in earnest, but right now we've got a sneak preview at timeboysthemovie.com. I'm asking you, go watch it and leave us a review. Many of you will remember that in the fall of 2020, before President Trump lost the election, justly or unjustly, please, let's not go there, Hunter Biden's laptop was found, it was in the news, and what happened? The New York Times, the paper of record, all right, a despicable group of human beings, deceivers, liars, propagandists for left-wing Democrat politicians and a godless agenda. They impugned the character of the New York Post that broke the story, and then it set the wheels in motion that this computer probably was from the Russians. This is probably Russian propaganda. So last week, the New York Times, it was either Thursday or Friday, they released a story. Buried deep in the story was the admission that the Hunter Biden laptop was real, that the emails were real, that this was not a fake, that Hunter Biden is under investigation, that there may be criminal wrongdoing. And what did President Biden know, and when did he know it? That a meeting with then not President Biden, that a meeting with Joe Biden and one of the Burisma executives, this bad outfit from Ukraine, where Hunter was making big money, that Biden did meet with that person. All of this comes out from the New York Times, buried deep in the story. Now, if the Hunter Biden laptop and the allegations against President Biden had been made known in 2020, there's a pretty strong chance that President Trump would be in his second term. Because the allegations, if even remotely true or partially true, against Biden involving bribery, ill-gotten gain, the allegations are so horrendous that there's no way he could have survived them. So what happened was all of these shills, left-wing people in so-called in the intelligence community and their counterparts in the press, the disinformation masters, went on the attack against the story. websites were, the data was erased. So you had big tech stepping into the fight, like they have done with transgenderism, like they have done with whether the COVID jabs are useful or not, like they have done with whether or not certain drugs can help when somebody gets COVID, not sticking them on a ventilator, but actually treating them. Big tech has just suppressed story after story, and big media and big tech work together with left-wing politicians to suppress the New York Post story. And now the New York Times admits it's real. Did they apologize? Did CNN apologize? Did any of them admit, yeah, we were not just wrong, we were knowingly wrong. We were deliberately oblivious to the facts. We were lying. No. No, they didn't do that. So we are at the terrifying place where genuine journalism is dying. I'm not going to say it's dead, but it's dying. And we're at the place where we don't know who to believe. We don't know what to believe. We don't know when we're being lied to, and we don't know when facts are being kept from us because of big tech's stranglehold on information. We're in trouble, friends. We're in deep trouble. And I believe, with all my heart, it pains me to say this, I believe it is the judgment of God. I believe that the blood crying from the ground against us is causing turbulence, is causing upheaval, the magnitude of which we have yet to see. By the way, I don't know if the statistic holds true anymore, but the average Russian woman kills 7 of her babies by abortion. Abortion in Russia is free, state-run healthcare, and they use it as birth control. You want to talk about blood crying from the ground and the judgment of God? America's not the only one who's guilty. China, 200 million dead babies in China, possibly. We don't even know the exact number. But the world is groaning under the weight of innocent blood that is crying from the ground for vengeance. I've got to take a break. We're going to talk about the Florida so-called Don't Say Gay law. Oh, I'm going to have fun with this, and you are too. Don't go away. And we'll tell you who the Babylon Bee's Man of the Year is. Ha ha!
I also want to speak tonight directly to Muslims throughout the world. We respect your faith. Its teachings are good and peaceful. And those who commit evil in the name of Allah blaspheme the name of Allah.
We have reaffirmed again and again that the United States is not and never will be at war with Islam. Islam teaches peace.
Islam is a religion of peace. They are not Muslims, they are monsters.
We've been told that Muslim terrorists have hijacked the peaceful religion of Islam. But Islamic art and literature tell a very different story. To know the truth, we only have to study the narrative of the founder of Islam, Muhammad, in his own words. Will Thomas and Richard Levin, 2 dudes. Remember their name. Will, goes by Leah, and he just stomped all these girls in college swimming. And Richard goes by Rachel, and he is in the federal government as a doctor telling all the rest of us what to do with our children. So, these are 2 men. By the way, the Babylon Bee just got shut down out of Twitter. Did you hear this? Babylon Bee got shut down out of Twitter because USA Today called Rachel Levin, who is really Richard Levin, called Richard Levin Woman of the Year. I'm not kidding. This is USA Today. This is how sick, perverted these people are. This is demonic. So Babylon Bee made him, which he really is a him, the Man of the Year. Man of the Year, Rachel Levin. So Twitter says it's hate speech and has blocked their account. So Twitter said to Babylon Bee, you can take it down and we'll restore your account. Babylon Bee said, go to hell. You can take it down. We're not going to bow our knee. If you want to scrub it, it's your site. We're not taking it down. So it's very possible that Babylon Bee is, and they literally should tell Twitter to go to the hot place, go to hell, go to the place where the lies of the demonic originate, like your lie that Rachel Levin, like your lie that Rachel Levin is a man. Hey, I'm on the air and I can't really talk right now, but I'll call you back. Yeah, it's okay. It happens. Love you, honey. Anyway, I'll get the bread after the show. So the bill, forgive me for getting distracted, but the bill, I thought that was funny. Is he going to leave this in the show? Yes, I'm leaving it in the show. It's funny. So Babylon Bee has the guts to say blah, 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 the truth. Twitter, these insane demonic people, they're going to take away their account. This guy is a dude. He's a man. How can we have this discussion? All right, so let's go now. This is really cool. Let's go now to Florida, to the Don't Say Gay bill. Here's the paragraph that has everyone crazy with rage. Ready? Classroom instruction by school personnel or third parties on sexual orientation or gender identity may not occur in kindergarten through third grade or in a manner that is not age appropriate or developmentally appropriate for students in accordance with state standards. So there's two parts to this. K through 3, you cannot discuss it at all. Fourth grade forward, you have to discuss it in accordance with state standards. Age appropriate, developmentally appropriate, students in accordance with state standards. That's what it says. Now, the left, the baby killers, the sexually perverse, those who hate God, they are unglued over this. Don't say gay, it's the don't say gay law. Which one of you perverted swine want to tell a kindergartner or a first grader about homosexual sex, lesbian sex, cutting off their female or male body parts and trying to reconstruct them or take drugs so that a girl can be a boy or a boy can be a girl? Which one of you perverts wants to do that? So here's the thing. The Republicans, as so often the case, oh, I miss President Trump. The Republicans are running away from this bill. The governor in Indiana just vetoed a bill. In the last 24 hours, the governor in Indiana vetoed a bill that said if you're born biologically a male, you cannot compete in female sports in public school. That's what the bill said. Well, there's a lot of information that's not here, and there's a lot of research that needs to be done. This is a Republican. Okay, Eric Holcomb. I'm mispronouncing his last name, but he's a Republican governor. Yeah, I do this without my teleprompter often, okay? So you take what you get. So the Republicans are running. This is such a winning issue. Go ahead, if you're a Republican, ask your Democrat counterpart in the U.S. House, the U.S. Senate, the White House. Wait a minute. You want to teach first grade boys about homosexuality? I'm going to throw up in my mouth. You want to teach second grade little girls that they might be a lesbian and you want to talk to them about lesbian sex? You want to tell a little boy who's in kindergarten or first grade that he can cut off his private parts and have surgery and become a girl? You want to do that? hold their feet to the fire, go for the throat. And this goes for all of us. Every single one of us who have the water cooler conversations, the conversations at work, at church, over the dinner table, with neighbors, with relatives, push back. Just say to them, hey, have you read the bill? I read the whole bill. 7 pages, not a really big bill. I read the whole bill. Nothing in there offensive to anyone who's got a kid and who's got a brain. I've got kids. If a bunch of perverted homosexuals and lesbians and LGBTQ, whatever their freaking vowel is, excuse me, if they want to say that a child needs to not be harassed and if they're homosexual, I don't care what they say. You don't have any kids. You've got sexual problems. You've got emotional and psychological and spiritual problems. I don't give a rat's behind what you want to tell me about how my children are raised in a school. Go get psychological help. Go get spiritual help. But don't think that you're going to tell us what a kindergarten through a third grader needs to learn about homosexual, lesbian, transgender sex. I'll be right back. What Would Mohammed Do? Islamic Terrorism Explained is the best movie series documentary ever produced on the life of Muhammad and Islam. How do I know? Because it's what critics are saying. John Moore, radio host and author, said, I learned more from What Would Mohammed Do about Islam and Islamic terrorism than I've learned from everything I ever read and watched in my entire life. Best-selling author Dr. Bill Warner said, What Would Mohammed Do is the best movie series, TV production on the life of Muhammad and Islamic terrorism that has ever been produced. Friends, this is what the experts are saying. No one has ever done what we've done. I encourage you to get 1, 2, 4 copies. Call 304-289-3700. That's 304-289-3700, or order it at the address or the website that you see on the screen.
I also want to speak tonight directly to Muslims throughout the world. We respect your faith. Its teachings are good and peaceful. And those who commit evil in the name of Allah blaspheme the name of Allah.
We have reaffirmed again and again that the United States is not and never will be at war with Islam. Islam teaches peace.
Islam is a religion of peace. They are not Muslims, they are monsters.
We've been told that Muslim terrorists have hijacked the peaceful religion of Islam. But Islamic art and literature tell a very different story. To know the truth, we only have to study the narrative of the founder of Islam, Muhammad, in his own words. All right, let me tell you a quick story about something we did years ago in the mid-90s, early 90s. We had a book-destroying party. So there was a guy named Jock Sturgis and one other guy who they did child pornography books, big coffee table books, glossy. They looked really cool, but they were perverts. These photographers were perverts. So I recruited people all over the country. I said, go to Barnes & Noble and find the books, go up to the front counter and say, can I please see the manager? And when the manager comes, rip the book in front of the manager and say, now, please call the police because one of us is going to jail. We got criminal indictments against Barnes & Noble in Alabama and in Tennessee. The head of Barnes & Noble speaking on the air, we'll sell any kind of book we want no matter what Randall Terry says. But we prevailed, people. They took them out of Barnes & Noble. So right now, there are perverted books being sent to public libraries all over the country. And there's moms and dads that are figuring this out. This is something you could do in your community. Moms and dads are going to the libraries and finding these books on transgenderism, homosexual romances, homosexual behavior, LGBTQ, all this stuff these books are being sent to librarians. And of course, many of these librarians are left-wing lunatics. And so what are the parents doing? They're putting the books on the shelf where they belong, or they're creating a scene, or they're calling the press. I leave it to your discretion what you do. But this is something that you can do in your community. It'll take you a couple hours, but you'll get to the bottom of it really quick. And in doing so, you will protect children from the lies of perverts. See you next time.